Now at 5, a day of celebration for the 35th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act. Plus, how students in Missouri will be impacted by new cell phone policies. And
President Trump pursues trade deals in Europe ahead of his fast-approaching tariff deadline. I'm Erica Brown with more on his trip abroad and a second round of questioning for Epstein's co-conspirator.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, Missouri students can expect some changes this school year. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Anthony Saviello. Those changes have to do with cell phone use in the classroom. Big changes are coming to Missouri classrooms this fall. A new law just signed by Governor Mike Kehoe will limit when students can use their phones. For kids in grades K through 12, that means no phone usage during school hours, even during passing period and lunchtime. We checked in with Joplin High School to see how they plan to enforce the new ban and what it could mean for students and staff members.
I think the premise behind it is awesome, but since we were already doing it, it's not really going to gain much instructional time for us. The part that they added on is the no cell phones in the lunchroom and no cell phones in the hallway. And so that's a little bit different for our school.
The ban does allow cell phone usage during an emergency like a natural disaster or an active shooter. Well, let's go ahead and check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Well, of course, hot and humid once again for us today. Temperatures mid-90s, and then our heat index again about 100 to about 104 during the afternoon. It looks like this is going to be sticking around as we go through the weekend. Hang on. Every time I want to sneeze, my gosh, and then it goes away. All right, as we go through the weekend, heat index 100 to about 105, but we are going to have a few random little storms out there. You can see some thunderstorms southeastern Kansas. Some of these guys could be strong to low-grade severe. Most of these will head north near Kansas City, but are clipping our northwestern counties. Besides that, I think we're going to be fairly dry. You can see a few thunderstorms kind of skirting our northwestern counties tonight. Everybody else down into the mid-70s. Chance for storms tomorrow. We'll look at that here in a bit.
All right, Doug, thanks. Try and clear those sinuses. A celebration took place today to commemorate the 35th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act. The ADA protects disabled people from discrimination and allows them to be part of functional society. Skill, a Parsons, Kansas-based company, provides services like transportation and equipment to disabled community members. The purpose of the celebration is to motivate and inspire people dealing with a disability.
But instead, we offer a community event open to the whole community. So people come in and they get to see people with disabilities in action, living in the community. So that's one of the ways we outreach.
Booths from businesses were set up with vendors selling their handmade items. Free hot dogs and ice cream were available at the event, as well as a chance to win a TV and other prizes. Well, President Trump is heading to Scotland to visit his golf courses there and talk trade, but he still can't escape questions about his connections to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Erica Brown has more details from Washington, D.C.
President Trump faced more questions about Jeffrey Epstein Friday as he departed for a trip to Scotland.
People should really focus on how well the country's doing, or they should focus on the fact that Barack Hussein Obama led a coup.
In Florida, the president's former personal attorney and now Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche wrapped the second day of questioning with Epstein's co-conspirator and convicted sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell.
They asked about every possible thing you could imagine.
Maxwell's attorney said she answered every question without the promise of anything in return.
Of course, everybody knows Miss Maxwell would welcome any relief. She's been in very difficult conditions for 5 years.
President Trump says he has not considered a pardon for Maxwell.
It's something I haven't thought about. It's really something I'm allowed to do it, but it's something I have not thought about.
The president says he plans to talk trade with foreign leaders during his overseas trip as his tariff deadline quickly approaches.
The president touched down in Scotland and confirmed he'll be meeting with the head of the European Union to discuss a trade agreement.
With the European Union, I think we have a good 50-50 chance. That's a lot.
Trump says the EU will need to lower their tariffs on American goods to strike a deal. Erica Brown, CBS News, Washington.
EU diplomats say a deal could result in 15% tariffs on EU goods, similar to the deal Trump announced with Japan, and half of the 30% tariffs he is threatening to impose on the EU if no deal is struck by August 1st. Well, still ahead, what's the deal with bonsai trees?
Tiny trees are thriving. I'm Bradley Blackburn with the growing popularity of bonsai and why so many are connecting with an ancient art.
And next in Health Watch, hearing loss is becoming more prominent in young adults. Topping today's Health Watch, more and more young adults are grappling with health issues they once thought was decades away. Hearing loss, but as Kenny Choi shows us, more treatment options are now available.
Dr. Rebecca Chang noticed in her mid-40s that it was getting harder to hear.
You just don't know what people are saying, like maybe in a noisy time over a dinner or when you're out with your friends for lunch.
She's a family medicine doctor now in her 50s. These days, she's hearing conversations more clearly with the assistance of hearing aids.
It's called a Phonak Audio.
Audiologists say younger adults are increasingly adopting hearing aids.
It's pretty small.
Motivated by tech advances and rising awareness of early hearing damage.
This right here is called the audiogram.
Dr. Sarah Whittinger is a supervising audiologist at Kaiser Permanente.
The technology has just gotten so much better than what it used to be. The criteria in which people needing a hearing aid or wanting a hearing aid has also opened up too.
Hearing aid fittings from 2017 to 2021 show people aged 22 to 54 increased by about 14% according to manufacturer Phonak. Audiologists say over-the-counter devices for mild to moderate hearing loss, including certain AirPods following FDA approval in late 2022, are leading to even more younger adults seeking care.
As people are recognizing these as options, I think actually more people are becoming more motivated to seeking more professional or a higher level of care.
A recent study shows nearly 27 million Americans 50 and older have hearing loss, and only 1 in 7 uses a hearing aid.
I have been wearing these for several years, hearing aids for several years. I certainly feel that, well, hopefully I can help change that stigma a little bit.
Dr. Chang is hoping others will hear her message. Kenny Choi, CBS News.
To protect hearing, experts recommend wearing earplugs at loud job sites or noisy events like concerts and monitoring the volume of headphones and other devices. Research by the University of Cambridge found that pollution from car exhaust emissions, wood-burning stoves, fireplaces, and construction dust are all linked to dementia and Alzheimer's disease. It's estimated that the number of people with dementia worldwide could triple by 2050. And stigma towards patients with substance use disorders remains common. A study from Columbia University showed while progress has been made in reducing stigma, nearly a third of healthcare providers said they preferred not to work with patients with opioid or stimulant use disorders. Providers had higher levels of compassion and treatment for people with other conditions, including depression, HIV, and diabetes. That's a look at today's health news. A little later, the bonsai business is on the uptick. We'll talk about why.
And it looks like the heat's sticking around for the weekend. We'll look at that coming up. Well, it definitely turned out to be hot and humid again for us today. Temperatures up there, mid-90s across the region. Have been kind of dodging some thunderstorms, especially in our northwestern counties over the past day or so. And that's pretty much where they're lining up. Once again, that I-35 corridor, a lot of flooding out in that region from Wichita up toward Kansas City. But they are clipping our northwestern counties. Some of those guys could be a little bit stronger. So we are going to watch that. Most of us will stay dry, but these could get into Yates Center, Iola, Garnett, maybe even Fredonia or Neodesha, picking up a few showers, maybe a random thunderstorm as we go through the evening hours. Besides that, we are pretty much dry. Here's 10:30 p.m. Showers, thunderstorms skirting those northwestern counties. And then once we get into Saturday morning, looks pretty good. Temps are going to be into the mid-70s, so it's going to be a warm start. Quick warm up, near 90 by noon. Let's go into the afternoon. Some hit-miss pop-up thunderstorms If you get stuck underneath one of them, you'll get some pretty heavy amounts of rain, but it won't last long, which is good news, but still hot and humid, mid-90s. Tomorrow night, nice and calm, backing down into the mid-70s once again. Let's go into Sunday. We'll stop at 4:30 in the afternoon. About your high temperature for the day. Again, a very slight chance there could be an isolated thunderstorm or two. So most of you, bottom line is, most of you are going to stay dry this weekend, but there are going to be a few random ones out there. Hot, humid, 95 tomorrow, 94 on your Sunday. Heat index above 100, and again, that isolated thunderstorm. Looks good right now, great shot. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, just outside of Seneca, Missouri. We'll drop back from the 90s, 80s into the mid-70s throughout the evening hours. Humidity is still up there. Dew points, lower 70s. So what that means for you is it feels muggy, it feels soupy across the region. And our heat index still kind of high as we go through the weekend, about 100 to 103. On your Saturday, let's go to your Sunday. Heat index again, about 100 to 103 across the region. Big dome high pressure. This has been the cause, our heat dome, and it really builds in by early next week. This keeps any rain well to the north, and then our heat dome slowly starts to retrograde back toward the west, or move west, once we get into Wednesday and then Thursday. So this may draw in briefly a little bit cooler air late next week, but also we'll try to up those rain chances just a bit. And as our high pressure continues to work toward the west, so here's next weekend, we get rounds of showers and thunderstorms back in here. So let's go through next week into next Wednesday. This is when our chances for showers and thunderstorms will start to increase across the region, which will be nice to get a little bit of rain. 95 tomorrow, 94 Sunday. Again, random storm, most of you dry. Let's go 96 Monday, 97 on Tuesday, 98 Wednesday, and then a little bit cooler, near 90 late next week.
Yeah, I think I've already had enough of the heat. I'm ready for it to cool back down a little bit.
Yeah, it's been hot.
For sure.
But only this week.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, I'll take it for a week. Yeah, thanks, Doug. Coming up, Pittsburgh Community Theater brings a popular comedy to the stage at Memorial Auditorium. We'll give you a behind-the-scenes look. Topping today's Consumer Watch. If you think of a thriving tree, you may picture a towering pine or a massive oak tree. But what about a tree that fits on a tabletop? The art of bonsai is experiencing a boom, growing in popularity. Bradley Blackburn explores why.
At the Brooklyn Botanic Garden, tiny trees are in the spotlight. The redwoods, cypress, and pines are all part of a new exhibit celebrating the 100th anniversary of the garden's bonsai collection.
The very first collection of bonsai imported from Japan to America.
Some are originals, well more than a century old.
This Japanese white pine is more than 300 years old.
Garden President Adrian Benepe says these remarkable small specimens need tremendous care, but they're huge hits with visitors.
I think it's part of the overall interest in things Japanese by Americans, and Japanese food and Japanese culture and Japanese anime and films and things like that.
The ancient Japanese art of miniaturizing trees is a growing global phenomenon. Worldwide, the bonsai industry is projected to nearly triple in size over the next decade. Many admire works pruned by professionals and want their own bonsai at home.
Hopefully have it for some years to come.
At Bonsai Bar, novices learn to repot, train, and even bond with trees some name like pets.
Becca the Bonsai.
The 4-year-old company now hosts workshops in more than a dozen states.
This is not a bonsai, but this is.
Correct. These trees are the same species.
Instructor Jessica Catero showed us the basics.
That upward growth will start to make it look older. That'll start to give it more of a perspective.
But the most important lesson, get your hands dirty and don't worry about messing up.
It's a rite of passage to kill your trees, but you'll learn from that experience how to do better next time, and that's all any of us can do.
Finding a little zen.
So if I trim here, it'll branch out in other directions.
Yes.
And celebrating small victories.
Boom.
With a hobby and art that's thriving. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, Brooklyn, New York.
Any species of tree can be trained as a bonsai, but Bonsai Bar says beginners have the best luck with tropical species like jade that can be kept indoors year-round. Well, the label given to adults caring for children and aging parents at the same time, estate planning attorney Candace Delicona hosts the podcast The Sandwich Generation Survival Guide. She advises getting documents in order, including power of attorney to make financial decisions and a health care directive for medical decisions. Delicana says it starts with a conversation with your loved one, which involves them facing their own mortality.
I always tell people that you should start from a place of love and caring and say the reason why you want to have the conversation is so that whatever happens in the future and the way they age is reflective of their wishes. And you want to help them achieve whatever it is that they see as their future.
Delicana says caregivers have to also take care of themselves, build in some breaks for yourself, and ask for help from others, including sharing resources. Final check of the forecast coming up next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, how saltwater is affecting crops. Then on KOAM News at 6, we'll talk more about the Route 66 Heritage Fest as it rolls into Miami. We'll go there live. Plus, Joplin first responders compete to see who can bring in the most blood donors. And Webb City Little League looks to make their mark on this year's tournament. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and KOAM News at 6. Well, if you're looking for more events like the ones we have going on today, go to our 4 states community events page, whether it's family fun events like the community blood drive, but don't know where to turn, we've got you covered. Scan this QR code, go to our KOAMnewsnow.com webpage, just scan it with your phone and you'll find information on all kinds of family fun events, including plenty of information on upcoming and ongoing county fairs. The events page at KOAMnewsnow.com. Speaking of county fairs, the Neosho County Kansas Fair has been running all week long, and this morning started the day with a swine show. Exhibitors prepped their pigs and presented them in the ring. Participants were being judged on their showmanship. This year's fair theme, Boots and Bling, is Mardi Gras.
You have to feed them quite a bit so they can make weight, but just walking in them and showing them so they're ready for the fair, and then just bring them over here and make sure they're show ready, wash them, make them look nice.
The Neosho County Fair runs through Monday. And Pittsburgh Community Theater is ready to light up the stage at Memorial Auditorium with the musical performance of The Producers, written by comedy legend Mel Brooks. Their first show is this evening at 7 o'clock. The cast and crew have been working for the past 2 months leading up to this weekend's performances. The Producers tells the story of 2 men who worked together to create a flop on Broadway as a scheme to raise millions of dollars, but instead the show becomes a hit and chaos ensues.
I think there's plenty of shows out there that are meant to make you think. And they're meant to make you...
Again, you can buy tickets at the door or online. Love it when things just move in slow motion. Yeah, just like, all right. It's like a scene out of The Matrix or something like that. Yeah,
a little bit.
Good movie.
It is a good movie. Haven't seen it for a long time.
Yeah, no. We've seen a lot of hot weather recently, though.
We have. Maybe a little bit of a glitch in the Matrix as temperatures have been up there, mainly mid-90s, really sticking around. Even we creep near 100 by the time we get toward the middle of next week. We are going to have a random storm over the weekend. Most of you are going to be dry. Better chances for storms here in about a week, and a little bit cooler.
Sure.
Not cool.
Right.
Cooler.
Cooler. All right, we'll take cooler. Yeah, absolutely. After the week we've had, cooler sounds nice. Thanks for joining us. CBS Evening News is next. We're right back here at 6. Have a great evening.